Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Don Burrows, and this is my wife, Megan.
And we're coming to you from our favorite place, the
Shared Bread Kitchen. On a more serious note, after 28 years of Shared Bread in 33 weeks of the COVID virus way of being with our guests at Shared Bread, I can assure you, God is still in charge of the Shared Bread program. And I'd like to share with you a few of the ways that He has enlarged our territory. He has blessed us with an amazing amount of clothes that have been donated by the community. And I mean, these are things that you would be proud to wear. So it's so nice to be able to hand them out to people in need. And that really kind of reminds me of a story from yesterday. A young man named Jamie, who had not been to the program for 2 years. I walked by him, I said hello. His clothes were tattered, his arm was broken in a sling, and he literally smelled because of his clothes. And we were able to put together a package of pants and shoes and socks and a backpack. And as I was talking to him and running all of these clothes by him, he looked at me and he said that he was going to share his meal with a friend. And that just gives me the chills. A guy living on the street that is thinking about somebody else. I said, Jamie, you don't have to share your food with anybody. I can get you another meal. And he said, can you really? And I said, I sure can. And maybe Jamie left with clothes and a couple meals, but what he really left with was a lot of hope. And that is one way that this program is really touching the hearts of many. And we thank everybody that is able to contribute to it. Another area that we're blessed to be able to enlarge our territory with is having doctors visit the program once a month. Starting very soon, they'll be coming every month.
We have a guest that we've met during COVID times, and his name is Michael. And he clearly, over the weeks, was developing more serious, what looked like skin cancer on his face. And the first night the doctors were here, he sought their medical attention. He met with them privately. They examined him. And one of our doctors was able to get him an immediate appointment with a doctor with a follow-up for the following week. And we were able to talk to Michael after he had seen the doctor and he had received medication, and he was so thankful. And his skin had already started to look better. So the fact that the doctors are here and just able to give that tangible, kind, private medical encouragement where our guests don't have to seek it out, it's right here on property, that is just something that we have always prayed for and wanted, and now we have.
A third area that we've been able to expand the territory of Shared Bread is through a relationship with a company called Sheltered Partners. Sheltered Partners has like 100,000 square foot warehouse with all new items that have been donated to them, overruns from different corporations. And they allow us to choose once a quarter whatever it is we need, and their supplies have been a real blessing to Shared Bread, saving us a ton of money and allowing us to do a lot of extra things.
And I just want to add that Shelter Partner is a offshoot of the Mark Taper Foundation here in Los Angeles County. And we're very fortunate, after a long application process, that Shared Bread was awarded a partnership with them.
God's hands are always open for Shared Bread. And one of the areas that is so apparent to us is the volunteers that donate to this program. So many of the people from this church do an incredible job of donating every week.
Yeah, so again, last night we're here in the kitchen, it's late, we're cleaning up, and Karen York, who is on our leadership team, just kind of asked, how do we get all these supplies every week? How do you track it? How do you manage it? how do you know what shared bread is going to receive every week? And I looked at her and said, we don't. And that is part of the sweet, sweet spirit of so many people with the heart and the soul and the true engagement in the mission of shared bread. And it always works out. We always have enough. And this is one of the ways that we reach back to our heritage of 28 years. It's always been that way, but we're seeing it even more and more during the pandemic because we have so many more people involved. The community engagement has been deep and wide, and we're so grateful for that. And our community partners, especially like Amigos Unidos, National Charity League, Chadwick School, Journey of Faith, they've helped us adapt. They've helped us be more nimble and more flexible. And we've learned so much, and we're thankful. And the other aspect that I'd like to say where the Lord has just enlarged Shared Bread's territory is being part of the Redondo Beach community right now. We have seen more momentum with wraparound supportive homeless services during the pandemic than ever before. We have seen the City Council, the District Attorney's Office, and the police working together in partnership with programs like us and people throughout LA County that have had a significant impact on more housing for our Shared Bread guests, a significant impact with something you might have been reading about called Homeless Court, which is designed to help homeless individuals move through the judicial system if they agree to supportive services such as mental health. And then the news just a few weeks ago about the pallet shelters that will be over by Galleria Mall, which also helped the police enforce some community engagement rules that are very important to them. So we are really proud and honored to be part of this Redondo Beach community for such a time as this, because we are seeing so much momentum for our guests.
I'd like to give you a picture of how things start out. At 4:30, I'm blessed to be able to go out there and talk to the guests, and at that time there's about 50 guests in line. And if you would ask one of our guests, what is it about the program that draws them here each week, they would absolutely say that the meals are fantastic every week. They would also say that the clothing that we supply is very helpful, but I think they would also tell you that the quality of people that provide the services, that give them such incredible service, and not just by giving them things, but by treating them really well and really wanting to make their day by getting them exactly what they need. And just, I'm telling you, the hope that they turn around and walk out with, to be able to live another day, to be able to be cheered up for just a little bit is just amazing.
We received a letter last night from one of our longtime guests, Marcy. And we've known her for several years, and she's definitely had some troubles and ups and downs. And we're definitely seeing the wear and tear of the pandemic on her. But in the midst of all that, she wrote us this letter, and she left it with some volunteers last night. It says, "Kudos and a huge thank you to everyone," and everyone is capitalized, "who participates in supplying and cooking and serving all your guests. Last week in particular was delicious. Everything was awesome. A lot of work to take the grapes off the stems, cut the apples, peel the oranges, and assemble the parfait. Wow, a lot of happy guests, food, clothing, etc. Gratitude from me on behalf of all of your guests. Marcy Miller, Senior, Redondo Beach." We're just very grateful for these encouragements, and we take them very, very seriously. It sounds like a lot happened yesterday, and it really did, but honestly, every Wednesday, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of spirit, there's a lot of things that happen. But we also were made aware yesterday that a lot of the other supportive programs here in the South Bay have had to close during the pandemic. And Shared Bread is still standing and still one of the few programs that continues to not miss a beat. And we say it often, but we'll say it always. We could not be doing it without you.
And I'd like to just close with a big thank you. And if we miss your name or
Yes.
something that you
Yes.
donated, we feel terrible.
Yes.
But we're just telling you right now, if you've donated anything, if you've given any gifts, if you've dropped off clothes or anything,
Food, masks, socks.
we say thank you.
We say thank you.
Because the program could not run this way without you.
Mhm.